to a Collider Heroes interview. I am Coy Jandro.
I'm Amy Dallin, and with us,
Joseph David Jones. Woo! How you doing, man? So I am going to dive right in because next week is Arrow, and I am very excited because this has been a long time running. This show has been going, and you've also gotten to be a part of another show within this universe. Does it feel different working on one show or the other, or does it feel like one big family?
It's funny because, like, the show, like, I was on Legends of Tomorrow when I first started out, and they were still, like, in their first season, so they were still trying to, like, find where they fit in, the tone that they wanted. And it ended up being like a lot of long shoot days. Like, I'm talking like 17, 18-hour days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like Arrow is like a well-oiled machine. Like, they know what works, they know what fans like, they know what shots they're trying to get. So days are like, and it's crazy. I mean, we do have those like stunt days where it's like 15, 16 hours still, but for the most part, like, everybody knows what they're trying to get. They know what the fans are going to enjoy, and like, we're all just working towards that. So it's like trying to get in rhythm with everyone.
That's great.
and you're going to be a big part of this, the final season of Arrow, the founding show of the whole Arrowverse.
Yes.
What has that been like? Just looking forward to that.
It's funny because, I mean, I binge watched everything like, early last season when I, like, you know, got the call and they asked if I could come back and reprise the role and everything. And they have like a Bible of everything that has ever happened on Arrow. And this 8th season is meant to be like, you know, the culmination of the show.
Yeah.
So they're not just trying to tie up the season and the bad guy for that season. They're trying to tie up everything. So there's so many callbacks to just things like tiny moments in earlier seasons, and like, you'll read it in the script and you're like, holy, like, who is keeping track of all of this stuff? And it's like, you know, season 2, episode 22, you know, Oliver walks in the room this way, and like they'll match that. And it's like the attention to detail that they're putting into this season just to give fans these like little Easter eggs that they can call back to.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. And I think they want people to like go back and rewatch, especially the first season, because there are going to be a lot of callbacks to like the first season, early Arrow. Yeah.
And that's super comic-y. I like that the show does a thing where it's like, by the way, time doesn't really matter because we know how to match cut. Like, you can like flip a panel and be back in early Arrow, and you can watch a show and be back in early Arrow.
Editorial box popping up saying, see season 2, episode 15.
I'm waiting for the show that has a meanwhile. And that's coming. Now, Arrow is a show that really restructured what comic book TV is. Arrow changed the game in a big way, because I remember I was working at the LA Fitness, and Stephen Amell had that giant poster outside that was just him like shredded and like scarred up, and I definitely worked out way harder because of that thing. But when that came out, we all thought it was going to be like a 1 or 2 season, maybe 3. Like, we didn't think it was going to change television. Were you watching back then?
Universe, yeah. I was, and it's funny because like the first and second season are like my favorite seasons of this thing, and I mean it's hilarious because they're still like finding it in those seasons, they're finding it in those years, but it was so good, man. I mean, and it spawned a whole universe. You know, it's
Several universes, technically.
Yeah, I know. At this point,
like,
multiverses have been inspired.
I'm like looking off. I'm like, man, how's the last season?
Yeah,
it's sad. And it's funny because, I mean, I was just coming on when they made the announcement and everything, and Steven, he had come to set and he'd like just called this powwow and everyone stopped for a second, and he was like letting them know that he was coming back for one more season, and he had talked to Guggenheim and talked to Berlanti, and they had like said, these are how many episodes I feel like we need to do the story justice and to close it off in a way that the fans will love. And like, everyone was sad.
Yeah. His Facebook announcement post was so
that was like 5 minutes later, man. It was just like,
wow.
Yeah.
But there's a beauty to something having a beginning, middle, and end. And we know, of course, that the universe created there is going to continue. And you get to be there for the big finale.
Yeah.
I just broadly, out of curiosity, are you, as we as comic book fans are, excited for some kind of Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Oh my God, yes. I mean, it's It's like the biggest crossover that's ever been done on television history, and it's huge for the network. I don't know how much I can say about this, but like Mark, he went to Warner Brothers with like this laundry list of things, and he was like, I want this.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, settle down. I don't know if we can get Christian Bale.
But we need Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
God.
If we don't get Adam West, then what are we doing?
It's on the Warner Brothers lot, just like looking at sound stages, like, yes,
We're gonna need a time
rebuild
machine,
Gotham.
but we can do this.
Yes, we will make this happen.
God.
I would like a Tupac laser hologram of Christopher Reeve. Now with Arrowverse ending, we do also have the I'm calling it the Canaroverse because we got the Black Canary show.
That's beautiful.
The Canaroverse. So I love that we live in a time where even with a show ending, there's a lot of characters that gets to spin off into another show and like keep their thing going. Is it like a family on set when you're working with people that have worked together for so long since it's been 8 years? Do they all have shorthand as well as the team does?
It's funny because like, okay, the show in large part has been compartmentalized from last season under this because we're in the flash forwards, you know, so there hasn't been a lot of overlapping with like shoot days. That's crazy. So we're constantly in until someone's brought to the future, or you know they don the old makeup. We don't get to meet them. We don't get to like hang out with them. But like this season, because everything's been like sort of ending, there have been a lot of attempts to like bring everybody together and like have that sort of camaraderie and that family. So like, I don't know, we send the show off right with this love for everything. So I really feel like in this last season, I've grown so much closer with the rest of the cast. I mean, they're all hilarious. So it's I don't know, it's really been great.
So you entertain
Every
each
time
other?
I'm like answering a question, I'm like,
Well, it's tricky because season 8 hasn't aired yet. So
Yeah,
I
don't
totally
get in any
by all
trouble.
means, talk season 7 as much as you want because that's totally fair.
yeah. But I think I just keep getting sad when I'm like thinking about it because like there'll be scenes or whatever and it'll be like, guys, this is the last time we're gonna be, in this room together. This is the last time we're gonna be shooting here, and it's like, man,
That's big.
It's funny because I'm like in the middle of talking about it and the weight of that sort of hits you in the middle of saying it. But no, it really has been like a family, more so to them than us. But like, we feel like they really adopted us into their Arrowverse family. And it feels kind of sad. But we'll see what happens with this spinoff show.
Yeah.
And how many people
Fold.
end up being,
See, we share
So
that
we
sadness,
have
but we
that.
also get to have the joy of knowing that it's
It'll continue.
perversely great for us to hear that you all will miss it, if that makes sense, because that love comes through, that love for
Yeah.
what you're doing and for the people that you're working with. So thank you. We're very sorry that you have to go through the sadness. Tell us a little bit about being Connor. What's the most fun about it?
Oh God, the fight scenes.
Really?
It's funny because I love doing stunts and I love doing the action stuff. They have an amazing stunt team on Arrow, and every single time they write something into the script, I'm like, can I do this? And they're like, all right, we'll see. But like, I spend so much time with their stunt team, with their coordinators, trying to like learn as much of my fights as I can.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they have like a couple guys who have doubled me this season, but the one who is carried over from last season is this man named Dennis LaFond, and he's like master of his craft. So I've been like working with him any day that I'm not on set and that he's here, and I can like learn as much as I can.
Dude, I love that. And much respect for stunt people. It's such a hard job, and it's like that needs the casting directors and stunt people need Oscars yesterday. Like there's so much they do that is really underappreciated.
Yeah, putting their
Superhero
lives
shows
on the
couldn't
line,
exist
you
without
know?
them.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, luckily we have like a freaking amazing team. Like I cannot stress that enough, especially with all the stuff that they're doing this season, because they're turning it up to like 10.
Yeah.
I think you'll see that in the pilot episode. This will be when the pilot
mere days away. Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
not far. Yeah. By the time we're mere days away from the drop of the premiere of the last season of Arrow.
So okay.
Season 8 premieres October 15th. I assume you've all already set your various TiVos and DVRs or whatever we're using these days.
Now I have a slightly askew from Arrow question for you directly.
Uh-oh.
You've worked with two of my favorite directors in the world.
Ooh.
Kathryn Bigelow and Dan Gilroy. I gotta know, what's it like to be on a set with either of those titans of filmmaking?
It's funny that both of their processes are so different. God, man, I would say like Kathryn Bigelow was sort of the easiest to fold into. And if anything, it kind of spoils you for other projects because the way that she shoots is literally to let you have free reign in this. So they'll create a scene, and like in Detroit, there were riots and there were explosions and everything going off, and they would just let you live in that scene. And each take didn't have to be the same. You didn't have to match anything, and they would have cameras hidden. So you wouldn't even know where the cameras were. You were just like put into an environment and like living through it as the character.
Wow.
So it was like her trying to capture these moments of us living in this space. And it's like, dang, I wish it was always like that. Because most of the time it's like hitting marks, hitting beats, and like recreating it for the turnaround and all this stuff. So it feels a bit contrived on some levels with other projects. And I mean, that's like, acting for film versus like being on
It's
stage.
almost like a play, man. It sounds like a
Yeah.
play if there's just cameras in places and you're doing a scene.
And you feel that, like you, I don't know, it made me fall in love with working with her. With Dan Gilroy, I did the table read first before I, learned who I was playing or anything. And the table read had such high profile people there that I was like sitting there like, what am I doing here? But like I go into the table read or whatever, they have my name set up, and like right next to it's like Colin Farrell and like Denzel Washington.
Sure, no pressure.
And
I know how to speak. Oh no.
And I'm like, don't mess up. This is your only chance to become friends with Denzel. God, man. But I don't know. He's a very, very grounded and down to earth person. And like, he's one of the only people that I know who just like shoots LA for LA.
Dude,
like,
his movies capture it.
Whatever with the, the tax incentives, he's like, I love working in LA and I love like shooting here and being here. And he does the city justice and everything. But I don't know, I everything that I shoots somewhere else. Literally everything. Like I never get to work here. And it's like,
That's hard, and I get it. Yeah, the Dan Gilroy's Nightcrawler, it's the best Valley representation I've ever seen. It feels like the Valley. That movie's so good.
And it's funny, he like called me again to be in Velvet Buzzsaw, and it was like I had a conflict.
Oh,
so I couldn't do
man.
it. Yeah, but I was like, dang.
That movie's crazy too. Dan Gilroy's got a very his broad sensibility of comedy is amazing. I'm a big fan.
God, man.
So anything you want from the world of so we don't touch on season 8 too deeply because I want to see it as a fan. Is there anything you want in the world of the Arrowverse going forward as a fan? Like on another show, on a thing, like anything not touching on Arrow you'd like to see down the line in Batwoman or Flash?
What would I like to see? It's funny because they're making so many different things. And it's funny, like on Batwoman, I think my favorite character in the DC universe sort of exists on that frame, and it's Lucius Fox's son, Batwing. And I was like, man, like that would be an amazing story to tell. Like, it effectively becomes like the Black Batman, and it's like, holy crap, I want it. Like, I want to see that show. I want to see that movie. We need it. We need it for the culture.
Heck yeah.
But there have been two different versions of Batwing. One was, he's like, God, I'm gonna butcher this name and everyone's gonna destroy me in the comments. But it's like David Oyembe. No, not the actor. The character's name.
No,
in the
he's
comic
from the
books is
2011 run. Yeah.
Hold
on, I got this.
Oh, you're pulling it up. Yes.
Our audience
I'm
is
sorry.
great. They understand
I'm so
names
sorry.
are very dense.
But he's like, he becomes a Batwing in Egypt. So
Yeah.
it's like a combination of like Batman meets Black Panther.
Yeah.
And it's
with
like,
a dash of Moon Knight.
Oh my God, I want to like that. I want that to be a movie, you know?
Yeah.
David
like-
Zabimbe.
David Zabimbe. Oh, thank you. What did I?
Yeah, that guy. That's the dense names of comic books.
David
There's so many
Zabimbe.
characters playing so many things. Totally.
Oh, like DC Wiki has been like my.
That's a good way to learn, man. It's so concise.
But that's
funny.
what comic book fans do. We find the who's who. We just trade encyclopedia and lore tips. That's part of the fun of it, right?
Right. Without giving too much away, because there's so many Easter eggs in this crossover this year, I've had to like read my scripts with the Wikipedia.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm just like, what is, issue 75.
Dude, I respect you doing the work. That's rad. I'm so
Right?
excited for this crossover. Like Tom Welling coming back. The Smallville was my childhood. I'm so excited. This thing's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
I feel like Steven facilitated that hardcore himself. Like he really like went to bat and was like, guys, we gotta get him in here. He cares so much about this universe and especially like Arrow. Like he's the biggest master of continuity
Yeah.
in this show, and knowing like it's crazy because he'll be in a place, whatever, and know exactly which day they shot there, which episode it aired on, and like.
So he's the guy you were
hundreds
talking
of
about who knows everything that happens on the show. It's him.
Right?
Just Steven. They're like, we gotta cut and ask Steven what the continuity is.
Guys,
get him out of the green
what
suit. Get him
did
on the
happen?
script team.
What shirt did
And
you
he'll
have
be
on?
like, it was 2013 on a Tuesday, and I think the weather was a bit rainy. And like, no, exactly.
So when they're doing coverage on not Stephen Amell, he's scripty. He's on the other side, like, no, that line was wrong. I'm just gonna while doing curls. Now,
While doing the salmon ladder.
he's going up. He's like, no, it was raining.
Can we talk? Oh my God. It's like that is like a rite of passage on the show.
The salmon ladder?
Because like everybody who joins the show, especially if they're a guy, even if they're a girl, because like a lot of the girls have done the salmon ladder, but
Hell
they
yeah.
watch that first episode and it's like, I have to be that
If you don't get up and work
I
out-
have to. Oh my God.
Then
like,
what's wrong with you? If you don't get up and work out after that first episode, come on. That's
have
the
to.
Rocky moment. That is that's
the
running up the
Rocky
Philly
moment.
stairs, and that is the moment. It's
Oh
very
my
important.
God.
Now, I can talk Arrow all day, and I very much look forward to. We got to have you back on after you can talk about this season.
Yes.
Don't want to give anything away for season 8, but at the end of season 8, we'll definitely reconspire post crises.
And I do
Dude,
have
I think-
two very hard-hitting questions. One,
Uh-oh.
if there was an alternate universe version of you, what would he be doing?
Of me personally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'd be like a musician or something.
Cool.
And my
I
second
feel
one
like I feel
was,
like-
if there's another musical crossover, are you down?
I mean, clearly he's a musician in alternate reality.
Oh my God. It's funny because we joke about that on the
Yeah?
show. Yeah. So I think literally all of the new cast will be down.
Fandom, make it happen. Internet, make sure to tweet everyone so we
Yes.
get another musical episode. Find this, man. I'm excited to talk to you after we can actually talk about it. Thanks for joining us today, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. And see you guys.